Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping right into something absolutely fascinating, a digital autopsy. We aren't just reading a notoriously weird, enigmatic 19th century book. We're actually digging into how its ghost is preserved, categorized, and mathematically sliced up in a modern Wikisource archive.
Okay, let's dive into this. Right out of the gate, the archive's description hits us with a total contradiction. This collection dropped in 1895, right? Yet the system completely struggles to pin it down. It tags it as early horror fiction, but then it immediately stretches to mythology, fantasy, and, incredibly, science fiction. I mean, it was bending genres long before the rules for those genres were even written. But, in the cold, unfeeling reality of the digital archive, all that mind-bending cosmic dread is literally reduced to a single identifier, 58371. It's a pretty stark reminder of what an archive actually does. It takes centuries of chaotic human imagination and just slaps a barcode on it so it fits neatly on a server rack. Now contrast that sterile 5-digit code with this number, 1895. That's the year Robert W. Chambers actually published the physical book in New York. We're talking about over a century of technological evolution, from the printing press all the way to the cloud, sitting right between the ink hitting the paper and the digital record we're dissecting today. Decoding the Genres, a book that absolutely defies categorization. So the archive's metadata forces this almost impossible juxtaposition, early horror fiction on one hand, science fiction on the other. Think about it. In 1895, the very concept of science fiction was barely a whisper, yet the algorithm completely insists the king in yellow belongs in both worlds. Now, what's really interesting about this is when you peel back the surface, the hidden metadata tags reveal the system's sheer desperation to sort this text. We have fantasy, gothic fiction, mystery, and remarkably, the Cthulhu mythos. That's a massive surprise, especially considering H.P. Lovecraft wouldn't really popularize Cthulhu for decades. The sorting algorithm basically has to throw the kitchen sink at it just to make it fit. Deconstructing these tags proves this isn't just some dusty old book, it's really the root of a massive tree. This digital autopsy reveals a text that didn't just exist in a vacuum. It actively seeded an entire literary ecosystem of cosmic horror. Anatomy of the collection. Dissecting the table of contents. The archive gives us a precise recreation of the 1895 table of contents. Notice the cryptic progression, starting with the repair of reputations on page 9 and cascading down to the Demos Aldis. The system meticulously preserves these exact page numbers, essentially locking the rhythm of Chambers' original physical layout right into the digital record forever. This maps out the exact narrative boundaries of the collection. We start at the really unsettling entryway of the repair of reputations, and we don't find our exit until page 285 with Rue Barré. The digital index serves as this perfect architectural blueprint of the physical book's journey. And this brilliantly illustrates that the archive isn't just a museum. It actually breathes new life into the text. You'll see the tag spoken works, which means this 19th century artifact has literally been optimized for your morning commute. It's a perfect example of historic preservation meeting modern convenience. The public domain legacy. Unlocking the archive. Hidden in the source code is a tag that, honestly, sounds like a lesser-known Star Wars droid, PD Old 80 US. But this bureaucratic string of characters is actually a master key. It's the legal tag confirming the work is entirely in the US public domain simply because it was published before January 1st, 1931. Let's map out the copyright timeline and see how this builds into a story of liberation. The journey starts with publication in 1895, easily clearing that 1931 US threshold. But the archive also acts as an automated international lawyer. It notes Chambers died in 1933, which automatically clears the text for global consumption in countries with a life plus 92 years rule. Pretty amazing, right? Because of that rock-solid legal status, the archive instantly translates a Victorian classic for 21st century hardware. You want it on your phone? Grab the EPUB. Reading on a Kindle? Pull the MOB file. Need a PDF for a massive monitor? It's yours. The archive does all the heavy lifting, so the history is always right there at your fingertips. By performing a digital autopsy on just one single metadata page, we've seen how an open-source archive keeps a historic masterpiece alive, accessible, and ready for modern eyes. It really leaves you with one compelling thought.
With millions of digitized records liberated by time, what other forgotten, mind-bending mysteries are hiding in the public domain, just waiting for you to hit download? Thanks for joining me on This Explainer. Go explore the archives.